Hey everybody, welcome back to the Space Agency. I'm Wandering Kid. Now, I know everybody's had some concerns about sound, and I think I found some of them are high-pitched sounds that I'm literally too old to hear these days. Some of it has to do with the microphone, it's a bit tinny, and sometimes it just has to do with exactly where I positioned said microphone. I've got a new microphone rig coming in hopefully next week, if not the week after. And I'm in the middle of converting my PC room to get rid of the echo chamber that's involved there. I've already hung some of the shelves. I've got some more work to do and things like that, but hopefully that'll help clean this up in the near future. But in the meanwhile, I'll do what I can with what I got. Remember, this is amateur hour. Anyway, let's get back to shooting ships into space. So here we have the Test 2C Launcher 2. The launcher itself is nothing fantastic. It's just a series of boosters and kind of asparagus. What's interesting on this particular item is I've set up a refueling station. It's based around a FLR-25 RCS fuel tank, and there is a what do you call it? What do you call these things? An Octo 2 hiding underneath the docking port. But the idea here is that the lander will detach and go do what it needs to do. And up in space, I will have 3 full refuelings sitting there orbiting, waiting for it. And we're going to see how well this works out. So when all of this is together, as you can see, I have 6,400 fuel on it. The lander only carries 1,600 xenon on its own. So we're going to send this off and we'll make it do some work for us. And this particular one's going up to Minmus. I've had a lot of contracts on Minmus. My little rover that I built a while ago can get rid of 1 or 2 contracts. I just want to put something up and leave it there to the end of time. Now, when I get the Gravitron, I'll probably need to send a new one of these up, but for now, this one will work. So we're going to send this off to Minmus, and if anything interesting happens, I'll let you know. So I brought this design up to space, and I realized I have an issue. And that issue is that all of my solar panels are on the lander, and none of them are going to be on the refueler, which is the part that has all the docking equipment. It barely even has a battery on it. This is problematic. So this design isn't quite right. I've sent up an extra 30 or 40K worth of stuff that I won't be able to go get. Not easily. I'm not sure what to do about that. At all. I'm tempted to go not do this burn and send up recovery ships with some parachutes. I think I may do that and just recover all of these items. What I'll do is I'll bring up detachable units with parachutes on docking ports and send this back down. Otherwise, it went up fine. That's not the problem. Alright, let's bring those in. I love how it just clips right through everything. That's just beautiful. Let's see here. Alright, we'll pop that away from us. Now that that's gone, we'll put our solar panels back out. Yeah, I'll need to rethink this a bit. I think what I'll have to do is I'll have to put something down here, just attach some fuselage or something for a place where we can have solar panels on this thing. Well, rats. This was close to a good idea. Well, I'll have to send up a recovery ship. Alright, so we need a recovery ship. Well, we need a couple of things that this recovery ship's going to do. Let's start with that. Let's create a parachute package. So we'll start with our docking port junior. Up here to structural. Should be a structural fuselage. There we go. To this, we'll attach a bunch of parachutes. And I think we'll also slap a battery onto it too. Just to help our folks get home safely. Because one of those guys has absolutely no juice on him. We'll stick on some radials. Alright, we have a parachute package. That should be more than enough to be able to land these things, I hope. Okay, now we need to get our packages to space. That on its own leash, put that underneath so we can set these off on their own. And we'll just make a disposable launcher. Alright, just a quick double check. I have control, I have power, I have battery, I have replenishment, I have maneuverability, I have mono. How much propellant do I have? 120. Just to make sure we don't have an issue. That should get us where we need to be. Okay, we're on the pad. Our target is that. We're actually not too far off the orbit at the moment. Just a hair. So we'll aim that way. Let's get this puppy going. I forgot to put care on. Oh well. I made a mistake. My target is going to crash into Kerbin. Oh dear. Once I get this orbited, I'll have to switch over to it, get the ions engaged, and pick up its orbit. Okay, that's not good. Well, that was different. But we're back in control. Kind of. This thing is horribly unstable. Whoa! What is going on? Holy Moses, this thing just does not want to fly. Come on, this way. No, I want you to go this way. Come on. Sheesh. At this point, I'll be happy to get in space with it. What is... Good grief. What is going on with this thing? Where's my current apoapsis? Nothing to talk about. Okay. Looks like I may have gotten under control again as I got into thinner atmo. Alright, so we've got a serious drag problem on this thing is what's going on. Alright. We have something resembling an orbit. I need to go anti-normal here. And I'm turning it the wrong way. Almost out of fuel. I don't think this thing's going up. Simply out of curiosity, we'll give it a go. Alright, let's get us a little better. We're not going to orbit with this. But I can probably land it. In the meanwhile, while you go float in space for a second, let's switch over to that. We need to fix our orbit. Alright. We're kind of close to the apoapsis, so I think I can do this burn. That's not helping. Is that not helping? Kill that. Main prograde, right? Yeah. It's actually pushing my periapsis down. The heck? I must be controlling from the wrong point. Alright. Let's go this way. Make another attempt with something else, but eesh. Let's get you up to 75k, let's say. Nope. Get over there. And a maneuver to drop the apoapsis down. 74, that'll work. Controlling from the right point. The right point to control from is buried inside my solar panels. Oh, that's what's happening. Controlling from the old point where I was. I need to control from is down in there. There we go. Alright, now at least I won't lose this thing. Let's see if I can land the other one. Alright, with this SAS turned off, let's see what it does. Alright, I think we see our problem. All this stuff on top wants to be in the back. Alright. And it does fire. It's very weird. There we go. Oh crap. It jerked to a complete stop. And now it's going to crash. The fuselage has survived. Great. Oh, that was uncool. Alright, now what? Alright. Well, remember that ship was only worth 80K. I've already dropped 30K trying to go rescue it. While interesting, I don't know if it's got value. Maybe I'll just try and fly it around as is. No, it's not really worth it. I'll probably just crash land the one that's up there, because I'm not going to keep sending up 30, 40, 50K launchers trying to save 88, 90K worth of equipment. There's just no point. But at least we know that thing doesn't work. Alright, back to the Test 2 launcher. Let's adjust a few things here. Okay, first up, as we found, we need SAS. Just use you as our bracing. Next. Hey, look at that. Now we'll have some power. Alright, so I needed SAS. I needed power on the orbiter. Did I need anything? Need any other adjustments? Oh, that's what I wanted. I wanted to put a battery onto this unit. There, now it'll have power on the dark side, and I won't have to worry about that. Are we in the correct launch position? Let's find out. Well, we're kind of in the correct launch position. It's worth a shot. I need to control from the correct location. There we go. Alright, now that we're orbital, let's crack open those solar panels on the refueler. And we have our Minmus burn coming up, so that should work. Meanwhile, we need to do a few things. I want to rename this. I want to rename the lander portion anyway. That one. Oh, I can rename the port. How curious. How curious. So we're going to rename that. This is going to be a, let's see. A station. Plus xenon fueling station. It's somewhere buried in there is something we'll rename later. Alright, so this one's good. Now I'm going to deorbit the other one. And coming under the header of significantly wishful thinking, we're going to attempt to salvage what we can of the first Test GC launcher. I don't know how well this is going to work. We're also going to see just how deep into the atmosphere I can go with my solar panels extended. Guess I'll admit to some curiosity. Heat has begun. I still have solar panels. How curious. Landing arc looks like it's going to bring me in front or on the mountains, but we'll see. These things blew off at 10 meters per second on the ground when I had put them on a rover. Up here? What's 1,500 meters per second? There they go. Look at the pretty pieces. Oh, hey, I still got some of them. Looks like I'm... Oh, there goes another one. Looks like they're kind of protected by the lower portion of the ship. Interesting. Oh, there goes another one. Nope, just more pieces. How curious. Oh, there goes another one. Bits and pieces just flaking off. Oh, that was to be expected. I still have two. I'm impressed. Oh. No. Stay this way. Thank you. And drag's going to be a bit rough right now. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to wait until terminal velocity has seriously slowed me down to a significant amount. Then I'm going to kick on the ions. I'm going to hammer on our what do you call it? RCS, and hope that they can slow us down enough. Alright, ions on. Not a lot of thrust to weight there, but... burning away my RCS. I've got the ions going. Don't know how well this is going to work. I have a feeling it's not going to work very well at all. Here we go. That's going to be a splat. Oh. Oops. Save some of it. Well. Save some of it. I got 25k back from the part I was able to save. Alright, so flag planter is looking at his aerobrake burn. He's still having trouble placing maneuver node on the correct side. However, as was mentioned to me, I should be able to drag a maneuver node around. Oh, look at that. How sweet is that? Okay, cool. What I want to do is I want to check the aerobrake calculator and figure out where he should be at. Alright, I need an aerobraking periapsis of 33,275. Let's get the sun off my periapsis reading. That's pretty close. I'm going to nudge him up a hair. Let's say 34k, which is about where I had him in the first place. There we go. Alright. We come into our range here in a bit. Alright, we've hit Atmo. Bobby's coming in. Victory barrel roll. First Kerbal to solar orbit. So I aimed for a 100-kilometer orbit. We'll see where I end up. This happens to be a horrible orbit. I'm not really feeling the love on this. So flag planter, after performing his aerobrake after 72 days in space, has achieved an apoapsis of 179k. So maybe I should have dipped a little deeper. Maybe I overcompensated for the drag. These things happen. Now, because I'm at such a horrible orbit, I'm thinking I'm going to let him aerobrake himself again on that same orbit. And we'll just take a land anywhere scenario. So, once more around, Gridley. Alright, yeah, I know, that doesn't really make sense, but work with me. Now, the real question here is, do I try and land it on the landing gear? Or do I just pop the chute? I think we can do a surface landing. We're going to try. And Abhi is safely at home. Let's see how much XP he got. 19 XP, he advanced to level 3 from 2 flag plants and a solar orbit. What can Abhi do now? Abhi, oh, ignore Jeb. Somehow he glitched. I don't know where the hell all his experience went. Let's see here. Orbit around the sun was worth 6. Flag on Minmus 6. Flag on Moon 5. Orbit 2. He can now... Wow, he can even maneuver, hold, and target track. So level 3 is plenty for everything. Interesting. So it sounds like a mass mission to go plant flags and go to a solar orbit for everybody will get them all where I need to be. So for our next bit, while waiting for the Xenon station to get up to Minmus, the Ares Helm to get into aerobrake range, I had a Moon and Minmus station that I had to put up, and it's getting ready for its transfer burn. Now, you've seen me do this before, but one of the things I wanted to show you was, you guys remember this, right? This is your transfer vectors, where you want to be, things like that. Now, with Kerr, you'll notice I have an ejection angle 198.85. That's where I want to aim my maneuver node for when I start my burn. Now, if you remember, I played with Kerr a bit, and I opened up this HUD over here. And one of the things I did was I had it show my maneuver information. So, my node angle to prograde, I want to make 198. So we're going to click that, and we're going to drag it around. It says 198. Like so. Now, in theory, I've already fixed my orbit for this guy, so at this point, all I should need to do is burn from that location to look for a Minmus encounter. Now, I may have burned too much here. Oh yeah, I'm way overburned. Alright, so let's bring that around. Oops. No, that's not helping. So there's my close. Aha! There's my encounter. 20 days. Now that's for a parking orbit of 20 kilometers at 199.04. You'll notice that, well, I'm not matching directly, am I? Now if we focus on Minmus, out of curiosity, how close do I get? 731. Come here, and if I can activate that maneuver node, there we go. Get this way then. It's a little cheaper. Oops, not too much. There we go. We'll aim for that. So 160.1. So I may not be using this completely correctly, but it does give you a decent idea of where to start, where to end, things of that nature. Between that and, see here, oh, that one. Your Kerbal alarm clock telling you when your burns will be. You can take a reasonable shot at most of your encounters between the two. And then it's just a bit of fudging, as you saw. So, we'll do that burn. Hopefully we'll get the Ares Helm done this episode. I'm trying. I think I see part of the problem, and it's that my parking orbit isn't where I thought. This parking orbit isn't where you're aiming for, it's where you are. I happen to be at 110 kilometers, so that may be part of the issue. So keep that in mind, that's where I threw off my own calculations. Oopsies. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the moment of truth. Can the Ares Helm handle an aerobrake? Now, coming into this, I refueled up the wolves a bit so that they could get some fuel just in case things go horribly wrong. I'm going to bring in our solar panels. Got plenty of juice. Things like this are where control groups would be nice, where I could just hit 8 or something of that nature to extend or retract them all. Don't think I have any others extended. I don't. Let's turn off SAS on. I want RCS off. As you can tell, my FPS is suffering significantly. Alright. Let's bring the ship up and over. Now it's definitely confused. Why am I not? Control from there. It thinks this is up. Oh, yeah, I suppose it is. Okay. We'll just rotate the ship around. Yeah, I don't want to bring the wolves in first. I want them to... I don't trust the magnetics on those docking ports. So, spin the ship over. Not bad. We're coming in on a mostly 90-degree orbit here. And while we're sitting here waiting to start our aerobrake, I figured I'll tell you guys the results of the vote for how the episodes are going to keep going. So, 9-4, discounting the, I don't really care either way votes. We're going to go to 2 30-minute episodes a week. Or at least that's going to be my target. I can't promise that. Life happens and this isn't my job, but we're going to try for that. And what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and keep them consistent, internally anyway. Obviously, things like the Ares Helm are going to be interspaced in between other things, same as like Flag Planter was earlier, where, you know, I kind of stick them where I have some room where it makes sense to put them in, kind of filler pieces. But in general, I'm going to try and keep these episodes holistic. Oh, holistic? Is that the right term? I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm going to try and keep them consistent internally as to what the intent of the episode is. So here we go. We're going to start aerobraking here in just a short moment. And what we'll do is we'll do a single aerobrake and then we'll correct via thruster. We've started aerobraking. We have entered Atmo. I did not do the aerobrake calculator for this, which I probably should have, but I did not. Now, depending on how the new drag system is going to work in 1.0 will depend on whether all of the aerobrake calculations everybody had are off or not, because aerodynamics are going to matter soon, depending on the drag rate of your ship. Now, depending on whether we can get that calculation intelligently or not will depend on whether we can intelligently guess at aerobrakes, or whether it's going to be part art and part science. We're bleeding off some of our orbital speed here. So it is coming down, but very, very slowly. This won't really get affected until we're under 40,000. Now, part of the reason I want to come in nose in is just in case I've misjudged how deep I need to go, I can always fire up the thrusters and push myself back out of atmosphere, I hope. I don't have a tremendous amount of thrust to weight, but as long as I can keep the speed up, I'll be alright. Now, one of the things you may notice is, as I'm coming in, my periapsis height is actually dropping slowly, even though we're losing tons of apoapsis. My periapsis is dropping as I approach it. We've trimmed off tremendous amounts of our apoapsis height already. I may not actually get burn effects on this pass. I may not have gone deep enough. I take that back. We are getting very light heat effects on the craft. Nothing significant. Just a hair. Alright, so let's see where we go. And we have just left atmosphere again. Quick warp to put us back on rails. So not bad. 1.9 million. We'll add a maneuver up here, and we'll set our parking orbit for 100K, I think. Close enough. So, we will come around, we will do our burn. And how long? 53 minutes. Burn should take me only 7.1 seconds. It's a relatively short burn. I have something else to do in the meanwhile. But I think that's going to end this episode of the agency, guys. We're going to get Ares Helm into orbit. And we have a couple of things to do once we do. First, we need to detach the wolves and land them. And we need to get a refueler up here to get the Ares Helm refueled up. We also need to get a small control unit up here so that the engines, particularly the left-hand engine, can be reseated. So we're going to redock the left-hand engine and see if we can't get that seated dead straight. Finally, we need to bring up 2 new wolves and bring our crew back home so that they can get their experience from their travels, so at least they get a level or 2 before we take them off to the Never Never. So, as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.